welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Angela. I'm in Central Mississippi, Zone 8B, and today, as you can see, we're not in the garden. The planting part of the garden is pretty much done. There's still a few other things to do outside, and then just some maintenance work, fertilizing, things like that. But for the most part, it's just a sit, wait, let it grow. But I thought today, what we're gonna do is chick season right now. So I incubate and hatch my own chicks for my flock that I have in my backyard. I've done that for probably 5 or 6 years now, and this is my second time to actually get into this and do this. I did hatch my own chicks and everything years and years ago, probably I want to say maybe maybe 15 years ago. So I'm really into the whole hatching chicks and things like that. And what I do is I have a dual purpose breed. And what I mean by a dual purpose breed, it means that they are used for eggs as well as to eat. So we do eat the chickens from our backyard. I don't name them or anything like that. I have a few favorites, but the favorites get little extra treats and stuff here and there, and then they still get ate. So I know it sounds mean, and some people can't do that, but sometimes you have to separate that from feeding yourself. So, and again, there are different purposes for different birds. You do have your meat variety, your meat bird variety, which you grow specifically to eat. Then you also have your egg layers, which are great to just to go and have for the eggs. And dual purpose is kind of that happy in between to where you can go either way with those. And the majority of my flock is actually Orpingtons. I have the English Jubilee Orpingtons. I have a couple of blue Orpingtons, and then I also have some buff or like two or three buff Orpingtons out there as well. But my roosters that I have over my flock are the Jubilee, the English Jubilee Orpingtons. So on today, I have plenty of eggs that I'm going to be incubating today. And you can see this is my tray of eggs right here behind me. So these are the ones that we'll be incubating. I've collected these over a span of about 5 or 6 days. So these will be our freshest ones, and some of them even were collected this morning. Um, so what I'm going to show you my setup of what I do, and then I'm going to go over how I hatch my eggs, because there are two separate ways that you can hatch eggs, two separate ways that I know of. There may be more out there, but these are the only two ways that I know of, and I'm going to tell you which one I do and why I do that. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the thermometers that I have in my incubator. The incubators that I do have thermometers that are built into them, so you can set the temperature and stuff. But sometimes if those are not calibrated correctly, then your temperature will be off inside your incubator. So I like to purchase separate ones, and this actually has the temperature and I don't want the TV to show the temperature and the humidity that's inside of the incubator. And as you can see, this one right here, it says, I don't know if you can see the wet part right there, but that's saying that the humidity is really high, or the RH level is really high. And then if you look at this one, that one was at 63 right there. And then this one is, well, it just changed to 61. I was going to show it does have like a little smiley face under here if the humidity is good. So that's why I really like these. I'm about to break it too. So, well then. Anyway, I really like this. I got these a 2-pack from Amazon. I think I paid like $15 for them. They're really great, and I have one on the inside of each of my incubators. That way I can kind of maintain and keep control over the temperature and humidity inside of the incubators. Humidity is very important, especially with the two different hatches that I know about. So again, I'll go over those in just a second. So I'm going to bring you down and show you the incubators that I have. Let's see here. Alrighty, these are the two separate incubators that I have. This is just a simple incubator, the styrofoam ones that you get from Tractor Supply with an egg turner. I bought them. I believe I bought them. They come together in a like a package deal or a bundle deal. So that's what this is right here. And then this one right here is a Brencia. This one has the styrofoam. This one is just all plastic. And these the trays, the little tray things come out, and you can actually fit. You can buy different sizes of these for this incubator. I think this one cost me about 150, 160 bucks off at Tractor Supply, and it's about the same price on Amazon as well. This one was about $300. I bought this a couple years ago, so I'm not sure what the price of it is now. But again, this is a Brencia, and both of them hatched for me really, really well. So I don't have very many negatives to say about either one of them. I do know that this one, the styrofoam one, is just a little bit harder to control the temperature and the humidity in, as opposed to this one. This one, because this one's a steel air. This one has a fan on the inside, so it has the ventilated air through there. So this one does just a little bit better than this one. So my hatch rate on this incubator is a little better than the hatch rate on this incubator. But on this, it does have the size to where you can fit chicken eggs, duck eggs. I've even fit turkey eggs on here because I incubated turkey eggs. I don't really make it a habit of incubating a lot of turkey eggs, but like I said, today is just strictly focusing on chicken eggs, so that's what we're going to focus on today. But these are the two that I have set up. This works perfectly for my family. I get a great hatch rate out of both of these, so this is what we'll be working with today. Alrighty, so what I'm going to start now is I'm going to go ahead and fill up both of these incubators, and then I will talk to you a little bit about the hatch, the ways that I hatch. So it's very simple to fill up these incubators. All you're going to do, especially on this one, is just set the egg. You want to make sure that you set the pointy end down and the fat end goes to the top, because that's where the air cell will develop. So I'm just going to set all of these in here. And sometimes that, like this one right here, you can't really tell which one's the pointy end, but this is going to be this one down here, because I do have some more eggs that are kind of oval shaped as opposed to the actual egg shape that it's supposed to be. So years of knowledge of it, and you get, after you've dealt with them for so long, you get used to which way is what. And me storing the eggs, I store them in these egg crates right here, just because it's easier to deal with them, and they stay a little cleaner, and it keeps them up straight so that they don't develop any issues or anything like that. And just another thing, you will see some of my eggs are dirty, like this one right here. You'll see the dirt from where they were in the chicken pen. If you're going to incubate eggs, do not wash them. Washing them will take off what is known as the bloom. And what happens is with the bloom is a protective layer that is on the egg that stops bacteria and the bad stuff from getting down into the egg. And it just helps protect it, especially through the hatch. And then, as you can see, I do have a couple of olive egg layers, and I have a few Easter egg layers. I don't think I have any blue eggs in this batch. Yeah, I don't have any blue eggs in this batch, but I have the olive eggs right here. So I'm incubating just a few of these to have. Let's see, just finish putting these up in here, and then I'll move on to the next one and show you how I put the eggs in that one as well. Now, one thing that you're going to see me do is you're going to see me leave a space on this incubator, and that space is going to be actually for this right here, for the thermometer. So I'll leave about four little egg holes open so that thermometer can be there. Let's see. Alrighty, so that's the four space, and the reason I leave the four there is because once this starts turning, this will move, so that will make this move back and forth like that. So that's why I have it set up just like that. And then on these, this one you can actually take these out, and these are rather simple to set up. So all you're going to do is just take and drop them in there right beside each other. There are some eggs that are fatter than other eggs, and you have to kind of play with it a little bit to fix them in the correct way. But you should get about 7 eggs across on this, and then you can just let them kind of lay over on each other. But they do stand up fairly straight in this. So I'm gonna do one more. And you can see this one's a little bit of a thicker egg, so it's a little harder to get it to go down inside of here. So these do have a little bit of give to them so that it can open up just a little bit more so the eggs can fit. So like this one right here, this is a little bit of a bigger egg. So I'm just going to take it, take the little bit of the give that it has. Oh no, I just broke that one. Or was it already broke? Oh, never mind. I think this one was already broke. So, or is that a, hold on. I guess I'm going crazy today. Yeah, it's not broke. It's something on the shell. It's not actually broke, but it's, when I put it in there, it's like a little line that's across there. So I don't know if that's broke or not. So let me check this out and I'll be right back. Okay, yeah, that one egg was broken, but you couldn't see the crack in it until the pressure from this got put on there and it made it split so I could see it. All right, so just again, just going through, going to finish filling these up. And what I'm going to do on this one is I actually will have one of these trays that I will not put any eggs in. And again, that will be for um, my thermometer that has to go in here. So, and I usually try to put it on the end because under the heater, right, which is right here in the center, that part will stay hotter than the rest of it. So I try to take and leave it way out here on the end so that I'll know what the temperature is kind of on the end there. So that's gonna be that, and I'm just gonna leave it on that one so I know that tray I won't put anything in. And then let me go ahead and finish filling these up. And I will get a count of how many eggs I have once I'm done putting these in here, because you never know really what you'll run into while filling these up, hence the cracked egg I just had. So because I try to make sure that I check these as I go, so I know I'm not putting any cracked eggs in here, because the last thing you want is a cracked egg, because that'll just turn around and it'll ruin in the heat, and that does not smell good. I've had that happen before, and that's not a pretty thing. So alrighty, there we go. Right, you see that one's a kind of a fatter egg right there, so just separate, like pulled it apart just a little bit to let it snug down in there. So there we go. Alrighty, so that we have 3 more left. So I think what I'm gonna do is I will take and put these last 3 in here. Keep on, little boy. Yeah, I'm sorry, my son is off his meds right now. I'm joking. He's not on any meds or anything. He's just acting crazy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take a row of the 4 eggs that were on this back side right here, and I'm going to finish off this row with 7. So that's that. And there we go. So they're all in there. I may do this right here because sometimes the ends right here are a little cooler than the rest. So I'll do that right there. Alrighty, so there my incubators are all set. Now all I have to do is put the tops back on them, get them heated back up, and then what they will do is they will stay. I have to turn this turner back straight up to where they're straight up, but right now they're leaning this way, and then they'll stay straight up for 24 hours, and then at the 24-hour mark, which will be about this time tomorrow, I will turn the turners on. That way they can start rotating and turning back and forth themselves, because you do, I believe it's the chickens that lay on the eggs, they know what they're doing. They're the mama, so they constantly turning them, as opposed to if I just had the incubator without the turner, I would have to stop and come and turn them every so often. So to avoid that, that's really the reason it's really good to have these automatic turners, so that just kind of takes something off of your plate. So again, these will sit for 24 hours and then the turners will turn on. Now I'll be right back with you. I'm going to talk about the way I hatch. Alrighty, so we've got the incubators full. They're ready to be set, and I will get them set up in just a minute. It takes probably about 30 minutes for them to get up to temperature. The temperature that they need to be at for the steel air one, which is the white uh, styrofoam incubator that I got from Tractor Supply. The temperature for that one needs to be set at 101 degrees Fahrenheit. And the forced air, which is the Brinsia, which is the yellow one, that temperature can be set at 99.5. The reason for the difference is the forced air has air that's circulating around, whereas the steel air does not. So that temperature needs to stay just a little bit higher. Now, as far as hatching, there are two separate ways that I know of. You have your dry hatch and then you have a wet hatch. The wet hatch just means that the humidity is a little higher. I'm sorry, I'm about to choke this boy. You see him running off. My kids think it's okay to bother me whenever I'm recording in the house, and they he wants me to throat punch him. I won't actually throat punch him, so don't take that as a threat to him. He's perfectly fine. He's a 24-year-old man. I will whoop him still, but he's a 24-year-old man. All right. Anyway, back to the hatches. You have a dry hatch and a wet hatch. The wet hatch just basically means that the humidity is higher, and the dry hatch, the humidity is lower. So, what that is, that both the dry hatch and the wet hatch are locked down at day 18. And by lockdown, I mean that the turner is turned off, the incubator, the turner's turned off, the incubator is closed down and cannot open till it starts hatching. Um, and that the hatch usually starts about day 21. Between day 19 to 20, you'll get pipping, which you'll see the baby chicks start kind of going at the shell, and you may see a little hole in the shell. And I'll bring you along as the updates that I post. I'll actually show you, and you'll see what pipping is and see some hatching. So again, for the dry hatch, on the dry hatch, this is the type of incubation that I like to do. The dry hatch, I usually keep my humidity between 25 to 35%. Whenever I'm putting the incubators together, you have those little tunnels or little reservoirs at the bottom of the incubator. Those are to hold water. And if you want a wet hatch, you'll fill those up with water. And if you want a dry hatch, you will not put any water in there from day 1 to day 18. I set these up like this, and I don't put any water in them, and they're really good. They'll stay between 25 to 30% humidity from day 1 up to day 18. And then at day 18, I will add water to those reservoirs to get that humidity up, because you really want to boost it up to about 60 to 80% at that point. So again, turning days, they need to turn between 3 to 5 times a day. So that's where the automatic turners really come into play. And then the preferred method of incubation that I like is the dried hatch as opposed to the wet hatch. The wet hatch, you stay at about 60% humidity throughout the entire hatch process. Not hatch process, I'm sorry, the incubation period. So you'll stay at that 60% humidity throughout that incubation period from day 1 to day 18, and then you'll boost it up between 75 to 80% between day 18 and day 21. Now, um, dry hatching, they do tell you it can go down, the humidity percentage can go down as low as 15% and as high as 40%. For me, my sweet spot has been between the 25 to 30%. That's been really great for me. It's worked really well for me. And then again, the higher rate that during the last 3 days, the lockdown period, you really have to boost up that humidity, no matter if you're doing the dry hatch or the wet hatch. The key differences are going to be that humidity throughout the incubation period. That's what really drives the name of the hatch, either the dry hatch or the wet hatch. So, and I have actually had higher success with a dry hatch as opposed to a wet hatch. So I've done both methods, and I have a higher hatch rate with the dry method. So that's why I really prefer it, just because chicks have baby chicks have the tendency to drown if there's too much moisture or too much water in the egg itself. So you really have to find that sweet spot for it. Now, the only time that I would really recommend for you to do a wet hatch is if you are hatching something like duck eggs. Duck eggs really need that moisture inside of those eggs, just because they are a waterfowl. So any type of waterfowl or anything like that would need that extra moisture in there, and that's when you really wanted to go with the wet hatch as opposed to that dry hatch. So also, another benefit of doing the dry hatch versus the wet hatch is there's a better air cell quality or a better air cell development. The dry hatch also makes the air cell just a little bit bigger, that rather than the wet hatch. It's a little on the smaller side. And what happens is when those chicks fully form, they're ready to start pipping, they will pip out of the membrane and into that air cell so that they can get to the shell of the egg in order for them to hatch. So, and then there's also another uh, benefit to this is less maintenance of the incubators. I'm the type that I'm kind of like, let me set it and do as least as possible for it. So in this, the dry hatch is the best with this thing for me, because again, I can set it. I don't have to worry about checking water levels. I have this set up in my sunroom so that I can just stop by, make sure that my temperature's good, my humidity's good, and again, that's where it really comes in handy to have one of the thermometers that have the temperature set and the humidity level listed on it, because that's really going to help you in the long run. That way, you don't have to worry about anything as long as you have that consistent humidity inside of it. All right. So again, that's why I do the dry hatch as opposed to the wet hatch. And then candling. Candling eggs is really recommended for you to candle eggs between day 7 to day 14. If you've if you watched a couple of YouTube videos or read instructions that come with your incubators, it really tells you to candle about day 7 and then candle again about day 14. I personally don't really like to do that. I want to set my incubators and have as little maintenance with them as possible, and so I don't want to open and disturb what's going on in there. So I only candle my eggs one time. That is usually about day 12 to day 13, somewhere a happy medium in between the 7 and 14 day period, and that'll be the only time that I candle them. And I will take out any eggs that are not fertile, any eggs that have kind of stopped development, or any eggs that doesn't have any consistency with them, and is not as far along as the other eggs in that batch. So usually, I have an app that I have on my phone. It's called Egg Hatch, and it's really good about reminding me. I can go in there and set the day that I want to candle. I can set the temperature that I'm working at. I can set the humidity that I'm working at, and it sends me reminders of, hey, today's the day you need to go candle your chicken eggs. And then I can also keep track of my hatch rate. I can keep track of my fertility rate, all that stuff. So it does everything for me for each batch of eggs that I do. So that's been really convenient for me. I bought that app a couple years ago and I've been using it ever since. I can archive all of my hatches. So I have at least a 3 year record of all the hatches that I've done in these past 3 years. So that's that's about it. Like I said, I'm really insistent on the dry hatch as opposed to the wet hatch, just because on my wet hatch I'd probably only get about 50% hatch rate because a lot of them would drown or just have different issues. But with the since I've changed over to the dry hatch, I've had anywhere from about 80 to probably 95% hatch. That's how well the hatch rate has increased. And by that I mean my hatch rate of fertile eggs. Not that does not include the infertile eggs. That only includes the hatch rate for the fertile eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get these eggs started in the incubator. I'm going to get them turned on, get them heating up. Again, it only take about 30 minutes. And I will post shorts with the update of these. And when they start hatching, I'll come on here and I'll post another video and let you know how that's going. And then I will also bring you along as I set up their brooder. I have their new brooder area set for this year. I just got to paint and do a couple other maintenance things outside to it to finish it off. But I have plenty of time because like from today, I have 21 days before these start hatching. Chicken eggs, that's all it takes. Turkey eggs, it takes about 28 days. I have incubated turkey eggs before, but I have three really good hens out there that just love to go broody and sit on eggs. So I give them my turkey eggs for them to hatch for me, and it just saves me from doing something. So again, I'm going to get these set up, and hopefully in the next video we'll have something to show you with this. And if you have any questions, anything like that, please leave them down in the comment section. I know there's so much more information than I could give you on these eggs, on eggs, on incubation, anything like that. And I'm just trying to cover the main basics, especially as far as incubation goes. And again, these are all from my chickens in my backyard, and these are going to go to eventually feed my family. So again, just I appreciate everyone, all the new subscribers that came in. I really appreciate it. I'm glad to see y'all here. I'm glad that you're going on this journey with me. If there's anything that you would like to know, or anything that any information or any videos that you would like to see come out, just let me know and I'll be glad to make a video about that. Like I said, I've done this gardening and kind of backyard urban homesteading thing for several years now. I know at least 15 years. I've gone from one place to the next doing this, and I've learned some tricks and tips and learned a lot of information over the years, and I'm more than happy to share it with you. So I'm just gonna sit here and do me. So again, thank you for the new subscribers. If you're watching this video and you're interested in the content in it, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the thumbs up button, and the bell notification. I really appreciate it. And until the next one, from my garden to yours, happy gardening. Y'all have a great one.